Hey, Steve here, Whiskey Congress. Just wanted to give everyone a little bit about who and what we are and why we do what we do. Jim and I started our podcast a couple years back. We were friends who talked in a bar and we had some good conversations. We talked about things that a lot of people didn't necessarily want to talk about in public. We talked about politics. We talked about race. We talked about sports. We talked about entertainment. We talked about things we agreed about, things that we didn't agree about. We had a number of quality conversations, and then we were able to continue those the next time we saw each other. And then, of course, a couple drinks, a couple shots, and it's we should do a podcast. We should do a show. And then, Jim made good on it. Jim was the one who went out and said, "All right, I'll figure out what we need to do a podcast and let's do it." And he did it. And so then I said, "All right, well, this is one of those instances where your drunk talk dreams come true." So he takes the first step, and I jump in. There wasn't a lot for me to do other than show up in his creepy attic and start to have a conversation with a microphone in front of us. And we did it, and we enjoyed it. Initially, we didn't really know what we were doing, but we knew that it was important. We knew that we felt passionate about it. We knew that we had quality things to say. It's an evolving process. It's learning the podcasting, learning the social media, learning all that stuff is one thing, but the one thing that doesn't change is our passion about what we talk about. And we talk about politics and race and sports and entertainment and culture and society, and our goal is to bring a balance that you don't necessarily see in mainstream media on Fox News or MSNBC, or you don't hear it on NPR. There's a slant everywhere. Now, we can't completely rid ourselves of our bias. There's certain things that have influenced us over time, and it's hard to shed those biases. It's hard to get rid of those different thoughts that are going to control and maybe manipulate our ability to be objective. But we try, and our goal is to try, and is to be objective and to bring to our listeners and our viewers really just an honest discussion about where our society is going, what's happening day in and day out in the world that we live in. Our experiences are going to shape how we view things, how we talk about them. I am probably the more passionate and aggressive of the two when those conversations happen. More often than not, the next show, you'll probably hear me say, "Hey, Jim, I'm sorry that I was so aggressive, or I didn't necessarily give you a chance to, rebut what I was saying, or what have you, because I'm passionate about this." And I was saying this to someone that I have to balance my passion for a topic or a subject with my emotion. Limit the emotion, keep the passion, and maintain some objectivity. Maintain honesty. Don't try to drive a narrative. Don't try to, stick with, the status quo in terms of, well, I'm an African American male, so everything should be pro-democrat, pro-left, pro-progressive. If I don't agree with it, or if it doesn't make sense, or if it's not for the greater good, then I need to be able to speak about that openly. And that's the point of why we do what we do. Jim will tell you that he is, very liberal, and it's been something that's popped up for him in conversations with friends and work situations and social situations, and even in his comedy and things like that. For me, it's something that I deal with and I balance every day, just trying to be fair and honest and balanced, like you hear Fox News. But that's why we do what we do, because it allows us to put things out there, think about them, talk about them, and then try to get other people to think about them and talk about them in an honest, just honestly. We want to pull people out of their silos of Democrat, left, progressive, what have you, or conservative, right, Republican, GOP. We want people to step out of those silos and just look at things from the other side. We want people to look at things with a more global view, not necessarily pushing globalism or nationalism or anything of that matter, but at the end of the day, what is the best thing for everyone involved? Can you still, is there a way where you can still get advance whatever your position is in life? Have it positively affect other people and be okay with it? Because there's a lot of, well, this is what's good for me, or this offends me, or this upsets me, or this is what I feel is best for me and mine. It's good to be focused on yourself and what you have to do, but at the same time, you need to be able to think that maybe this has a pretty negative impact on other people, a large number of other people, and so maybe I can sacrifice a little bit for me to help other people around me live a better life, have a better existence. That's what we aim to do. We're not always the best at it, especially when you get things involved, like whiskey, or beer or things like that. I mean, it's a part of our show. Bam, there it is, right there. Lagavulin 8 limited edition is a part of my thought process tonight. But you know, that's our goal, that's our aim, and so we hope that that comes through in our message. We hope that it comes through in each and every show, and the clips that we put on YouTube. That's what we want. We want people to think. We want people to step outside of their normal box and take a more world view. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, independent, whatever you might be, our goal is to make you think. Our goal is to get you to come around to not only what's best for you, but what's best for other people, what's best for people in the future. So we can all have better conversations, so we can all advance the conversation and push the limits and push things forward, so we can get things better. The name of our show before Whiskey Congress was Steve and Jim Fix the World While Drinking. We wanted to fix the world. We wanted to provide solutions. We don't want to just talk about things. We want to say, here's the problem. Here's the standard rule. Here's how it's applied. Let's come to a conclusion and let's fix it. And that's our goal. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Please continue to do so. You can always find us anywhere on social media at Whiskey Congress. You can find us online at whiskeycongress.com. Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you keep listening to and subscribing to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you can find a podcast. We're there. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.